Peter Pan, that's what they call me. Promise that
Is your man TLD Crabman, and I'm here with another fantastic video. Yeah, buddy. And today, I actually thought I would show you guys my build. I've never really took the time to show anybody my build or explain why I have what I have. So, let's get started. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm a little bloated. Okay, so first off, let's start with the weapon. So, depending on what kind of priest you want to be, actually, we should start with the skills. So, depending on the priest you want to be, really makes a difference on how you should play. Okay, obviously, if you're higher up, you're gonna run Storm Chaser. If you want to be the ultimate fucking healer, okay, like, I mean, you got people covered. You want to do either Storm Chaser, and if you're really up there, Centurion's Command. Because with Centurion's Command, you got the Shield of Faith, Healing Sphere, and Blades of Justice. Now, the reason why I say Centurion's Command is not bad is because of all the end upgrades that they get. I mean, it's ridiculous what they get for here. Like, Shield of Faith now also heals 10% of the affected character's max HP. So every time you cast your Shield of Faith, you're healing them. Well, now Shield of Faith can now block a second additional attack, and then Shield of Faith now blocks one additional attack. That's like 3 blocks, okay, that they have within 12 seconds. And it also heals you if you get it maxed out, okay? And then the Healing Sphere also now grants affected character plus 20% defense. That's insane. That's awesome. And even if it's for 15 seconds. Basically, this guy is able to heal people whenever the fuck he wants. He doesn't have to worry about getting jacked up. Or them getting jacked up while he's healing them. It's the same thing with Storm Chaser. Same principle. When you heal people, or like Healing Nova. Okay, Healing Nova down here. While casting Healing Nova, you gain protective shield that blocks up to 5 attacks for 5 seconds. That basically means that you're gonna heal whoever the fuck you want, and you ain't gonna take shit with the damage. That's awesome. But that's if you're wanting to be a healer. Right now, I'm running the Crescent Moon. I like the Mark Wolf, but the Crescent Moon is a really good support healer role. If you're wanting to do Lion Legacy, that's more of a DPS and quickly protect your guys kind of thing. You ain't going to be able to give out heals, but you're going to, unless Shield of Faith right here reduces Shield of Faith cost and duration. Yeah, see, you're not going to be able to give out heals, but you can focus more on DPS and damage and kind of protecting your guys. Mark of the Wolf is more of your basic heals. It's kind of like a mix, so you got some heals, and also you got some DPS in there. Now, granted, you don't get your A skill, but it allows you to focus more on just these 3, more focus on healing. But the Crescent Moon is a perfect combination of the 2. And the reason why I say that is because with Crescent Moon, you're able to push enemies back, which also gives them a debuff. If you can get your Smiting Fist up there, they'll get a debuff for the damage that they deal. And then your Divine Strike, this is pretty much where you can do your damage, but I'm not really worried about Divine Strike with mine. I don't care for Divine Strike, and I'll show you why. I'm going to max it out, but there's a reason. So the Healing Sphere, Sphere, reduces Healing Sphere Holy Energy cost by negative 40%. I can heal people very quickly, and then it gives you your basic Healing Nova. Now, the reason why I took very interest in this was because of this right here. So at the moment, I don't do a lot of damage, but if I get everything upgraded, check this out. While standing on or near sacred ground, in the effect early to unleash all of its holy magic at once, damaging enemy or any enemies within it, total damage 22,652 damage. Now, if this is anything like the mage's fireball, that's insane. That is insane. And let me point this out really quick. Okay, because of that, this is not one of your left trigger abilities. You do not have to stop for this. Or, well, you don't have to use your mana. You literally just double tap B, and that is the attack. Once you're done, you'll hit whatever button you're supposed to hit, and that will turn into a death pool, just a death zone of 22,000 damage. So, and this, your teammates can stand in and deal their damage, you know, attack the enemy or whoever it is. They can fire, 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 and then right before it ends, boom, you do all that damage. Which, by the time that this circle's been there for about 5 seconds, usually the enemy or boss, whatever, is inside that circle being a dick. Okay, but so I choose the Crescent skill because of that. And by the way, once you unlock something in a skill line, that passive, it is permanent. So if I came to the Crescent Moon and unlocked that banishment combo, which is that B, 22,000 damage combo, I can then go to Storm Chaser or something like that and still have that combo. So at the moment, I'm working on Crescent Moon. Now, that it works for both DPS and heals if you want to be a good support healer. And also, it's probably the skill most priests are running right now. So let's start with my weapon here. So I'm using the reinforcement staff. Now, granted, real quick, my levels and my upgrades aren't really that high, and it's because right now I'm sitting at about 971 gear score, and which is pretty good for most regions. We're starting to get into the higher stuff, the Altar of Blood dungeon and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to start boosting it to get it over that 1,000 marker. I want to get into 1,020 kind of gear score, which is all legendaries, and I think your weapon at mythic. But anyways, so I use the reinforcement staff partially because I'm really big on helping my team, because I rely on the mages and the crusaders and whatnot to do the DPS. So with mine, it increases allies' attack power by plus 2.4% within a 5-meter radius. Okay, a 5-meter radius is about the size of the circle I just slammed on the ground. That's a pretty big radius. Anybody within that gets that buff. So that's why I run this staff, because no matter what staff I use, unless it's a Class A tier, it's going to do the same damage whatever upgrade I have on it. Unless it's like increased attack power, but I think that's like a Class C staff. So this is the staff I'm using. For my secondary, I'm doing the reduced retribution holy energy cost, and it's because if there's ads alongside the boss, I can daisy chain those ads and do a constant damage to them, but I also keep in mind my team's health while I'm doing this, because your retribution uses your mana. So I have to kind of balance out the two and make sure nobody needs health. But it's really good for grabbing the attention of the ads. And as a priest, it's not necessarily our job, but we can tank. If we have to, if you got regens, health potions, and your heals, you can act as a tank, kind of like a Templar. So that's another reason, or that's the reason why I use it. Now, the rest, okay, a lot of this is for mining, and it's because I do a lot of mining. So I have mine as a legendary mining helmet, and it's because I plan on replacing these with Class A tiers. What's important for me is that as a priest, depending on what you want, if you want high DPS, you're going to want your crit pieces. So if there's a helmet that's like increased, you know what? I can actually probably pull them up right here because I have a chest. So let's take a look at this guy real quick, and we'll go down to the hats that they have. And I'm sure they have these in upgradable forms. Fuck it, never mind. They don't. Let me go here. Okay, so let's see here. Reduce Smitting Fist cooldown by 2.6 seconds. That's not bad. If you want to be a totally, like, hardcore support role, the head, this Prophet headdress is pretty good because you can basically keep adding that debuff on the enemy over and over. So the higher that cooldown reduction is, the more times you can push the enemy back and debuff them for the rest of the team. Or you can run this, which is my mining and gathering. Or this one, increase. No, don't do the increase HP restored from gathering. That's ridiculous. I know, but it's not one you should seek out. There's a couple others you guys can check, but mine's just the mining because I do a lot of mining. But you can get, if you want to do DPS, just get the crit rates, get your attack power, you know, common stuff, because there's not a lot of armor for the priest that really affect it that much. It's weird. Class A tier is more for your other skills. Class B is for the one armor round, and Class C is for your past skills. So when a lot of people say, you know, Class C is trash, it is trash unless you're trying to build your character around Class C, that skill line that you have there. So, all right, next is the chest. I just did increase max HP by 735. You can do other chests. There is... I'm going to do this one because the Soul Reapers doesn't have that much in there. So let's see. Don't do artifact shards. You can do defense. Increased defense is pretty good. This is overall your defense, so you're going to take less of a hit, but your health is still the same. Or increase critical hit damage plus 10.5%. If you can find a robe that you can upgrade that's got crit hits on it, that's good for DPS. That's good for being a priest and healing. Same thing with your belts, crit hits, and your defense. Let's see here. Increase, like I said, the gear that I'm running right now is just to get my gear score up. I have my list of gear that I want for whenever I actually do want my final gear. In an RPG, when you're running through, you kind of want to pick up gear as you go and kind of work on your build as you go. But once you get to the end of the game, and if you've done that, worked on your gear and everything by the end of the game, you're pretty much done. Well, for me, I like to go through the entire game, still have that challenge against the boss, and then switch over to my final gear for the DLC to come. So that's my legs. My boots, increased critical hit rate, plus 4.18%. My gloves are mining again. Excuse me. My shoulders are mining. My waist is my crit hits, and then my ring is gathering and mining. Which there's other rings that do like PvP, your crit hits. Now, when you're dealing with rings and necklaces, you want to keep your runes in sync because I'm hoping that later gear has multiple runes and multiple buffs for your character. Like, say for instance, your chest, right? I have one equipment. It's a common buff. Equipment effect increase max HP. Okay, so that's a common buff. That's a common buff. Common buff. Common buff. Common. These are all common buffs. But if you go to your I think I have all common buffs. Okay, that's a priest buff, and that's a priest buff. But you see how the runes say common buff? I'm hoping that later on that there's gear, or in tier A gear, that there will be a kind of like an uncommon buff that's like, whoa, you know, this guy's got an extra 1500 max HP. How the fuck? It's an uncommon buff due to the runes that he has. But that's basically what you want to prep for if it's not out. and if it is out, that's what you kind of want to look for. But yeah, that's pretty much my build as the priest. I like I said, I'm a big support role player, so most of the time I spend my time doing that. And then the combo that you want to do for DPS is the smite, due to the fact that the smite has it has 3 attacks, and the total overall, especially if your crits are high, you can get up to way beyond 15 to, you can get around anywhere from 10 to 20,000 DPS within that whole combo. If you're like me though, I usually run this, and then I usually do either the fountain, which knocks enemies off, or I do the path, in chains, and that usually will hold the enemy for the rest of your team. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my build. It's nothing crazy. Like I said, I haven't really been working on it too much on exactly what I want. It'd probably make life super easy for me if I did, but excuse me. Like I said again, I enjoy the challenge of the game. So yeah, now you guys have seen my build. It's not the, oh my god, he knows. No, it's nothing like that. I'm just the average Joe Smo like everybody else. This is just what I run with, and it really works for keeping the team alive. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, one more thing. When it comes to, once you get up to level 29, and if you're deciding on which union ability you want, if you're a PvP player, you can go for the Headless Assault, but if you're a priest, Divine Intervention is amazing. Once a day, you can bring your allies back without actually having to touch them, and that's everybody within that radius. Now, granted, they come back with 1% health, and I can tell you right now, I've been revived this way 3 times and almost immediately go down right after, but it's because it's so, like, absurd, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? That you don't realize you were res that way, and you you get knocked before it happens. So, to get that, though, you do your union trials for the Sentinels. You'll defeat the Altar of Blood dungeon, and then there was something else you had to kill, and after that you'll get that ability to res your teammates and stuff, which I don't have at the moment because we're still doing that dungeon. But anyways, guys, that's my build for me. Not really a DPS or damage, just a support role, man. I know I know a lot of y'all are gonna comment and be like, that's, a lot of my armor shit, why do you have that, why are you rolling with this or this? I know what I got, and I know it's not the greatest in the world, but like I said before, I have a list of items that I want, and when I get to that point and start working on it, I will show you guys and share that with you. But until then, that's what I'm running. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope those who are running a priest, which is not a lot, I hope it helps you guys. Kind of makes life easier for you to decide on what you want to do. And dang, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys feel, you guys want to keep watching my content. And yeah, please hit that notification bell. I come out with quite a few videos a day. Try to keep everybody entertained. If I'm flooding you, if I am flooding you as a sub, and at any point in time you're like, damn, alright, this dude's blowing my shit up, and it's kind of getting on my mind. It's, what the shit? What's going on here? Alright, there we go. Sorry. Technical difficulty. My party just kicked me for some reason. Anyways, though, if I'm flooding you and you feel like my channel is kind of blowing your shit up, turn the bell off, unsubscribe, whatever you need to do to quiet me down. or tell me in the comments, be like, hey man, this is you're flooding my feed, and I'll try and slow down on the videos I put out, but it'll take a couple of y'all before I act upon that. There is a Discord down below. I know this was kind of a lengthy video. I usually don't do this, but because it was an actual build and explaining things, I figured I'd take my time with it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.